Dear friends, I stand before you today not with a presentation of incremental changes, but with a transformative vision that will redefine India's economic trajectory. Our conversation today transcends the conventional discourse of economic development. We are here to architect a future that breaks free from the constraints of the historical limitations and embraces our nation's extraordinary potential. Let me be clear, the narrative that India cannot achieve China-like growth is not just incorrect. It is a failure of imagination. It is not about comparing ourselves to other nations, but about understanding our unique strengths and systematically addressing our structural limitations. Our demographic dividend is not just statistics. It is our most potent economic weapon. We have over 600 million young Indians who are not just a workforce but potential innovators and global leaders. However, potential without strategic cultivation is like an unlit fire, full of energy but producing no heat. The heart of our economic transformation lies in reimagining our local governance. Our current bureaucratic system is a colonial legacy that we must dismantle and reconstruct. We are not talking about minor tweaks, but a fundamental reconstruction of how local governments operate. Imagine local government officials who are not just administrators but economic catalysts. We have to transform them from passive implementers to proactive growth architects. This means comprehensive skill development, performance-linked incentives, and a culture of accountability that rewards innovation and economic expansion. We must deploy cutting-edge technology to make our local government transparent, efficient and responsive. Our digital platforms must not be used just as tools but transformative mechanisms that connect our grassroots administration with global economic opportunities. Our education system cannot remain a relic of the past. We must craft our education ecosystem that is forward-looking, practical and aligned to global economic trends. This is not about creating more graduates, but about producing problem solvers, innovators, and global standard professionals. We have to integrate practical skills, entrepreneurship education, and technological literacy into our core curriculum. Every school, every university will become an innovation hub. We are not just teaching skills, we are cultivating a mindset of innovation and global competitiveness. Similarly, our industrial policy has to be bold, strategic and dynamic. We must not seek to compete with China by mimicking its model, but by creating a unique Indian ecosystem of innovation and manufacturing. We must create investment corridors that are not just infrastructure projects, but living, breathing economic ecosystems. Special economic zones must be designed not just to attract investment but to nurture innovation, support startups and create robust supply chains. Our focus must be on high value sectors, that is advanced manufacturing, green technology, artificial intelligence, semiconductor design and emerging technological domains where India can establish global leadership. Our banking and financial system must transform from being risk-averse bureaucracies to dynamic engines of economic growth. We must introduce performance-based management, develop sophisticated risk assessment framework, and create specialized financial instruments that support our strategic economic objectives. Capital markets must be simplified, made more accessible, and aligned to our national economic vision. We are not just looking to attract capital. We are creating an environment where global capital sees India as the most promising investment destination. Infrastructure is not just about building roads and bridges. It's about creating interconnected economic arteries that facilitate seamless economic activity. Our infrastructure strategy must be holistic, that is, integrating physical, digital, and social infrastructure. We must invest strategically in transportation networks, digital connectivity, smart city technologies, and sustainable energy systems. Each infrastructure project must be viewed not as an expense but as a long-term economic multiplier. Our youth are not a challenge to be managed, but a force to be unleashed. We must create a comprehensive ecosystem that supports entrepreneurship, provides skill development, and create meaningful employment opportunities. This means going beyond traditional job creation. We must build mechanisms that transform our youth population into global entrepreneurs, innovators, and leaders. Strategy without execution is hallucination. We must establish a robust, data-driven monitoring mechanism that allows for real-time policy adjustment. Our approach must be adaptive, learning from global best practices while remaining uniquely Indian. What I am proposing is more than an economic strategy. It is a national mission of transformation. We are not just seeking economic growth, we are crafting a new narrative of national potential. Our growth will not be measured merely in GDP numbers, but in the opportunities we create, the innovations we generate, and the global impact we make. To my fellow policymakers, this is our moment. We stand at a critical juncture of India's economic history. The choice we make today will echo through generations. Let's not be just administrators and policymakers. Let's become the architects of India's economic destiny. Jai Hind.